my channel. We're not in the kitchen, but we are about to cook. And I'm going to do something for you microwave only. I'm not going to be using a stove. This is going to be a nod to my father who was cooking earthwork. And this is going to be called Gucky Muck. And let's get started. Now, I'm going to bring this closer to the microwave so you can get a good look at what I'm doing here. Hopefully you got the view. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to use this. It's a microwave safe. It's some kind of stoneware. I don't have a label on it. I have no idea what exactly it is. I'm going to use a basic salad oil, this vegetable oil. I think it's, I would prefer to use peanut oil because it tolerates a nice high heat. I love olive oil, but olive oil will go rancid on me, and I haven't had olive oil in a couple of years, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to pour a little bit of oil in this pan. Put the lid on so I don't spill it. I don't know how to do that. Let this cook the pan a little bit. I don't want to get my hands dirty. Just wash them. And I have here about a cup of sliced baby portobello mushrooms. They market them as called baby bellas. Now, I don't know if I can do all of them in the pan at the same time, but you know what? I will. You never know unless you try, right? I'm going to use this to give it a good stir, and we'll coat them on both sides. You can, if you want, add a little bit of salt to them before cooking, which you know what I think I'm going to do. But I'm not going to go too heavy-handed with this because some of the other ingredients have salt in it. Shake this. I'm keeping the lid kind of shut because this is a combination of kosher salt, which, as you know, has the big pieces in it, and regular salt. I really don't have very much salt in this stuff. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this. I want to try to get them single layer. And I'm going to stick this in the microwave. Now, microwave ovens, I'll admit I don't have as much experience with them as I do with other ways of cooking. But when you don't have use of a gas stove, which is what our situation is right now, you gotta get creative. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 4 minutes on the timer because this isn't the kind of, every microwave oven is different. And some of them actually have a special setting that just says timer, and you can put specific minutes and seconds you want. But the reason why I'm starting with the 4 minutes here is because I like to do things in either 15-second increments or 30-second increments. I want to be prepared to do some stirring, get them evenly cooked on both sides. This won't take any time at all. Just get kind of what an approximation of a saute of the mushroom. Okay, it's at 3:22, 3:21. Oh, and if you hear chiming, that is from a cell phone that I have in here because one of my pet peeves when I'm cooking is it's so hard to shoot stills when you're actually filming, right? But if you have another camera, then you can shoot stills in the middle of the film. Okay, it's right now at the 3-minute mark, so I'm going to press the button, open the thing up, lift this up, flip them. Now, you know, they seem like they've hardly been cooked at all, so I'm going to do that for another minute. And you got to go press the start again. And if you want to get a look at what the actual controls on this particular microwave oven are, here, I will show you. This microwave oven belongs to the other roommate. He decided to let my mother have use of this so that she can reheat things because the toaster oven kind of broke. And so did the coffee maker, but that's the story. So while we're doing this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut some of this beautiful yellow and green pepper. It's a bell pepper. Well, it's not totally beautiful. It's a little bit blemished, but so we cut off the black parts. And I've got my favorite knife here. It's very sharp because it holds really well in the hand. And it's almost at another minute now. One, two, I'm going to stop this. Then I'm going to cut the bad part off. I was going to do this before I went on camera, but I thought it wouldn't hurt to show some of the prep process. I always save my seeds because I'm an organic gardener and I like to grow vegetables and things. These are the seeds, and I think I might not use the whole thing. I might just use half of it. If I was in front of the sink, I would be actually rinsing it out right now, but I can't really do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape any little bit of seeds left into this glass measuring cup, just so that I can easily do it. Now I have to be really careful and not have too much weight on this side, because if you saw when I showed you the microwave, some of it's hanging over the edge of this table, and I obviously don't want a problem with that. So I'm going to take the garbage part off of this, and then I'm going to just cut thicker than matchstick sizes. Oh, if this jacket's peeking out, it's kind of big for me, so no, I don't have a gut. It's just the way the thing is. I don't know if you can even see this. I might need to push this. Let's see. Here, I'm gonna try to move this so that you can get a better angle. If I push this stuff out of the way here, then, but you know what? First, I want to get myself a sip of tea here. Hot tea with lemon and sweet milk. Stick this here, and then I want to move this back here so that I can have a place to put my computer. I'm going to see. But I think if you can't see what I'm doing, it kind of defeats the purpose of the video, right? Okay, now, is this better? Or maybe I need to, see, I don't know, maybe I need to actually be higher up, because I want you to see my face, but I also want you to see what the hell I'm doing. So, okay, I'm going to start cutting this up into small pieces so that they're going to cook evenly. And it's probably a good idea to have all the pieces of a fairly similar size. It just makes it easier for things to cook evenly. And also with the microwave, you have to always allow a little bit of a rest period after you do a cycle before you actually plate it up to make sure that the heat gets distributed evenly. Because when the microwave cooks, it cooks from the inside out, and you have to use whisker around and stuff. And again, every microwave oven is different. They all have different wattages, different brands and stuff. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I have a lot of experience with them, but when all of a sudden you don't have use of a stove, you've got to learn real quick. And also, an AI will be very helpful, by the way, if you want to ask certain questions about how long to do certain things. AI is your friend in this. You know, nothing wrong with getting information if you're not sure, especially if you have food safety questions, like how long for something to be done enough to be safe, and does this food look like it might be on its way to spoiling? You know, better be safe than sorry. And I'm thinking this is approximately 1/3 of a big bell pepper. Like this. You know. But my father, he was a cook in the Air Force, and without exception, whenever he would go to VFW conventions, all the veterans, all the active duty soldiers, sailors, Air Force, Marines, they all said that you fight on your stomach. So if you got a good cook, they're fighting men and women. Of course, back then, there were no Danes fighting. But we know it. Maybe there was some that snuck in under the banner and maybe didn't get the physical, or maybe turned out they weren't fellas. You may never know. Maybe some of you guys know. I'm gonna chop this up, and actually this is gonna, I decided not to do the julienne kind of thing. I'm doing these about a half the size with average postage stamp, and I mean the average small postage stamps, not the bigger ones. This will just make it cook a little bit faster. Some people like their vegetables to be a little on the crunchy side. I like mine a bit more well done. And I'm going to make, this is vaguely similar to what I made for myself last night, but I didn't make enough for seconds, and I didn't make enough for my mom. And this time, I want to make enough so I can eat good and she can eat good. So, you know, and this is where experience comes in. And maybe if you get a chance to practice, which what I did yesterday, I didn't realize at the time, but yesterday what I did was ended up being practice for today's video. Now this is almost done. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You get yourself, and this I'm guessing might be about a half a cup of chopped green pepper. And I'm going to set this aside and stick this over here. Now, I know the surfaces are kind of wonky and I'm doing the best that I can, but hey, this is like, you know how President Trump has, whenever he's in Mar-a-Lago, they call it the southwest wing or something. Well, this is the other wing of the kitchen, I guess, for intents and purposes. I have another drink of my tea. It's obviously not too hot, so I wouldn't be gulping it. I don't know, the tea must last too long. Good. Now, next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get that bowl out. I'm going to check out. Okay, now this time you see the mushrooms have yielded some of their juices. That's exactly what we want. Now, I am going to go cool these mushrooms out temporarily, and I'm going to put them in. First of all, I'm going to take this plate away from up here, because the last thing I want is for the microwave to crash down on the ground, and I will cry a wail here. Oh, I hope you guys can hear me okay. I have a fan running. I put this jacket on in part because I wanted to wear it because it looked really great, and also because I was actually cold. But when I started doing the show prep, I started sweating like anything, and I hope I don't sweat this up because, you know, washing this is going to be a hassle. Anyway, I'm going to put this into here because this is going to be what I'm going to use for cooking. And I'm just going to go ahead and dump it in. Smells good already, and all that is mushroom. Dump that in here. I'm going to go ahead and throw some more of that oil in. And now, a lot of people would be nervous about, hey, why are you pouring oil on something that has some moisture in it that's going to spit? Well, the microwave has a, when I put the door on, I'm not going to spit on it. So, I'm going to go ahead and throw in about a tablespoon of oil. And then close this so I don't spill it. On the floor. Give this a good swirl around here. Put this back here. Take the towel. And you know, something tells me I better stick this someplace so they don't spill. So I'm going to stick this right here below you. And the star of this is a hot pepper, a hot pork sausage. It says Sierra sausage hot patties, and these are definitely hot, so you go ahead and use a hot sausage. You're not going to need any more hot peppers in this. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. And I'm just gonna slide this off into this. Okay, like that. See a little tiny bit more meat attached to this, and I'm not going to waste anything. I'm going to put that on here. Okay, this is kind of trash. Or I'll throw it on the ground and look at my stick. Just joking. Now, because this is raw sausage, I don't need a knife for this. I'm just going to use the edge of this, and I'm going to break this up in the pan. Press it. And don't worry if the pieces aren't exactly perfect. Or else you can always break it up when it's cooked too. Either way, it really kind of doesn't matter. The only thing is now, if I was cooking on a stovetop, once I touch the edges of something like this to raw meat, I would want to stick them in boiling water or something, because you really don't want to mess around with raw meat germs. You see, I'm breaking this up as best as I can without making a mess. I'm doing things on the floor, because, you know, if these things get on the floor, you don't want to feed them to your wild animals and stuff, because I don't think the dogs and cats are going to want to eat hot pepper sausage. You really don't want to mess around when it comes to your pets. They can't tolerate the spices that we use, and some of the herbs that we use are actually poisonous to our cats and dogs. So do be careful. If you're going to cook for them, don't add salt to it. You know, most spices, just cooking things plain. If you're boiling bones for bone broth for your dogs or something, you know, everybody gets arthritis. Trust me. If you don't have it yet, you're gonna. Just saying. But yeah, a lot of people don't add certain seasonings to things till after they're cooked, just so that they can have some things for their animals and then some things for them and stuff. Okay, see what I did here? Now I'm going to stick this in the microwave, and then I'm going to press. Now right now, I'm going to show you what the timer thing says here. Okay, it says 1:58, and I guess I can put this back here for a bit. I hope you can still hear me. And I'm going to press this thing back on here. Now you really got to kind of watch when this is going on. I like to do a half a minute increment. That is 30 seconds. Just watch the timer as it goes down. And you can hear it spitting and stuff. Want to look at, see, sometimes I notice stuff spits and goes all over here. And the thing is, I didn't clean this thing when I got it. So if you see the tray is dirty inside there, that is not anything that I did. It's not anything that Mother did. She's never even touched it. She doesn't even know how to operate this thing. The only other person we know that has a microwave, well, our grandma had one. But, and she's been dead close to 20 years. So anyway, I'm going to put this here. Now, since this is raw meat and this is raw meat, it's okay to use this to stir. Stop this. Stop. I'm going to lift this up so you can see. Okay, it's not hot yet. Now, sometimes these things get hot and you can't touch them. You need to get very hot in a microwave. Now, this is obviously only partially cooked, so I'm going to stir things up, lift things to expose more raw stuff. We can learn together if you don't have a lot of microwave experience. You know. I never went to cooking school. I never would have thought to do that when I was younger, because I always associated working with food with gaining of water. And because of the women in our family and the way there is a tendency to weight gain, and I've been able to avoid it, and I don't want to get a late start to get my gift. So I'm just very, very, very careful. I'm careful with what I eat, and I'm careful with the kind of jobs I've had because I want to make sure that I don't develop any habits that are going to kick back on me body-wise. And since I already screwed up with eating too many sweets over the year, and I have lost most of, but not all the weight that I need to, so I still have to watch it. So anyway, I stir this up again. I'm going to put it back in there. I'm going to press start again, and I'm going to try this for another either 30 seconds or a full minute. Now, you know what? Actually, I'm going to stop this for a second. I just got an idea. Okay. See this? I am going to throw in the peppers. I probably should have done them at the same time because you know peppers can take a while to cook, especially if you want them down on the ground. Okay, the mice did something. I'm going to put this like this, okay? See that? And I'm going to throw this back in. And I'm going to turn it back on again. What? Oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to Debbie. You notice I'm wearing the necklace you sent me and this ring. Check this out. This looks like it might be carnelian, which I believe is definitely something great for a Scorpio. You guys do know I'm a Scorpio, right? Now, I'm not sure when you're actually going to see this because even though I'm filming this cooking video today, which is actually the 21st of October, but I don't know if you're going to, right now I've been uploading nightclub footage. So when exactly you're going to see this, I don't know. Hopefully it'll be just before my birthday, if I time it right. Because I am a Scorpio, and I am going to be getting ready to try to eke out some kind of birthday shindig. And I have no idea what I'm going to do here. I'm going to stop this at the 35-second mark. And I'm going to stir things up here. Oh, you know what? Now it's time to get the ouch preventer. As the pot holder. And I'm going to stir this up. And then I'm going to put that back in there. It already smells. But you can tell the pepper is not being cooked enough. So I'm going to put that back in there. And I'm going to push it in. And I guess I'm going to run off the timer. Because you know, you get all the cooker time on. It's not like prepared for it. Oh, and this, I very rarely wear this, by the way, because the chain is all totally rusted. And rust is not good to touch on the skin. But because I really wanted to wear it on video and stuff. And you know, I don't usually wear much jewelry when I'm cooking because I know it can get in the way and stuff, and especially bracelets. I try not to wear. But these were such a perfect color match. I wanted to show them off. And these are from dollar stores, by the way. The dollar store that's been closed over a year now. So, nom, 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 nom. Oh, let's see. And you know what? That sausage is not even cooked yet, so we're going to definitely have to add more time. Stir this some more. I like how this pepper has got both gold and green in it. It's a nice pop of color. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put this back in here. I'm starting so bad. Just for the safe side, I'm going to take these bracelets off because, you know, these are made of this cool stretchy stuff. But they can and they do break. The next thing you know, you got beads all over the place. And okay, they weren't expensive, but still, you know, when they break, I do save the beads. So it's really not practical to use a lot of jewelry when you're cooking. So, okay, I got them off here. Now, I want to show you some of the other things that I have in ingredients in this. This weird stuff in the bottle, what this is when I cook hamburgers or steak or something, you always have the big drippings and stuff stick to the bottom of the pan. I always like to put water in and let it soak and you deglaze the pan, and either I freeze the stuff because it's really great to use as a soup base when you're adding things. It gives flavor. Some people like to put this in an ice cube tray. You pop out a tray, and you can do that with garlic, by the way, also. You know, have things crushed and store it in the freezer, and then when you need something, put it there, and just, oh, it's wonderful. But because we don't have an ice cube tray, I decided to take, instead of freezing, I have a whole lot of these things frozen, but I have some that I put in this water bottle so that I can use that for the liquid that we're going to need for this dish. So I've got to show you another part of this. Oh, look, I'm going to spill the rest of these mushrooms here. I only brought this so that you can see the package. I have, I don't know if you saw this or not, a rice cooker. In order to make Gucky Muck, the most important ingredient you must have is rice. And I have this cooker. I use approximately a cup the size of rice with 1.5 parts liquid. If you do 2 parts liquid to 1 part of rice, you're probably going to get a soggy rice that just, I don't find the consistency appealing. It shouldn't be the kind of thing that you can smear on the wall and it sticks, okay? On the other hand, it shouldn't be hard either. But if you want that nice, I guess the closest thing to the consistency I want to describe would be al dente, the pasta. You definitely want to do 1.5 parts of liquid to 1 part rice. And don't rinse it unless it doesn't have vitamins fortified. If it has vitamins fortified, you don't want to rinse off your vitamins. If, on the other hand, it's one of these foreign brands of rice like you get from Afghanistan or India or something, sometimes they don't enrich them, then if you want to take off the starch, go ahead and rinse it a couple of times. But your first rinse water, I highly suggest you save, because did you know that rice water could be used as a facial treatment? Yeah, so there are uses for that. But again, if your rice is enriched, you don't want to rinse it. So this is what your cooled off cooked rice looks like. Oh, and in the rice water, I cooked it in this. So it's going to have already flavor to it from meats and from herbs and things. So I'm going to set this aside though, because we're not going to use this yet. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull this out of here, and I'm going to throw in some rosemary. Now, we used to have a rosemary plant in that garden. Now, what I'm about to do is this is broken up into little needles. What I like to do, if you have an extra coffee grinder or grinder for any other things, grind rosemary into a powder. It mixes so much easier in your cooking. It's great in gravies, and plus you won't be picking needles out of your teeth. That's good fun. Okay, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just sprinkling this rosemary on there. Rosemary just gives such a wonderful aromatic. I think rosemary is definitely one of my favorite herbs. And let's see what else I have here from the garden. Okay, I put here some basil. And one thing I really love about basil is when you pick it out of the garden, you can use it fresh, you can dry it, you can freeze it. Now if you freeze it when it isn't dried, it's going to kind of be slimy and stuff, but that's good to use frozen basil that way if you want to add it to pasta sauces, because obviously pasta sauce is going to be cooked down anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm crumbling. These are specifically the seed parts of basil, where there's real concentrated flavor. And plus I noticed when you dry herbs, the oils concentrate, so you actually can use half of the dried that you would use the fresh. I'm going to pull this back out of here. I'm going to crumble this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I like to pretend I'm starting a fire here. Yeah, funny. Oh, and I have a fire extinguisher. You do know about the kitchen fire, right? I'm sure you do. Anyway, got a fire extinguisher here. Now I'm gonna, I could stir this up, but you know what? A lot of times I don't like to stir things up when I throw dried herbs in here, because what ends up happening is the herbs get stuck to the stirring, thing. And since this has raw meat and stuff on it, if I were to stir it, half the herbs would get stuck on here, and that would defeat the purpose. What is the flavor, right? Okay, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in, and the liquid. See that? This is a buildable dish. Now, without disturbing the parts that have the herb in it, I'm just going to distribute this kind of nice. You know, I wish I had a bigger thing. I'm hoping, see, you want to also make sure that the pan is going to be big enough for the ingredients as you go. So I'm going to stick this back in here. And I'm going to put this up here. So let's see how long it is. And then now you're going to see, I'm going to show you something. Now you're going to see the timer is totally wound down. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some more time on the thing. And I'm just going to go do another 3 minutes. Now one thing I noticed here, you would think 3 would be 3 seconds and 3 minutes would be 3:00, but no. That's not how these things go. So what I'm going to do is I started the timer there. I'm going to let that whir a little bit, and then I'm going to get out the old can opener. Because we have 2 cans that we are going to incorporate here. We've got a can of black beans, and then we've got, I wanted green beans of some kind, and these are a bigger kind of green beans that I acquired. So, and I already washed the rust off the cans, any mouse droppings, you know, that's all been scrubbed off because you don't do germs and stuff. And what I'm going to do with this, where is that empty bowl? Oh, I have here a strainer, and I have a bowl to catch the liquid. And get this out of my way. Put this up here. I'm going to stick this down here so you can't even see it. And then I'm going to have to put this down here so that you can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to open up this can here. Well, first I'm going to get the cell phone out of the way so I don't dump anything on that. And, okay, keep an eye on the timer. It's about 1.5 now. Open up this can. Pay attention to the timer. You know, it could probably go down and be okay. Let me see what the timer says. Okay, 1:15. When it gets down to 1, I'm going to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to turn it off. Pause. Okay. I'm not even going to lift the lid. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, I'm sweating. Woo. Okay, you see this? I'm going to dump this into this bowl so that the liquid goes on the bottom. And now I'm going to reserve this. I'm going to resist the urge to drink it because, I mean, it's got some vitamins and stuff, and they're not bad to drink or anything. But I'm going to put this carefully back into the can. By carefully, I mean I don't want to drop anything more on the food because I don't feel like feeding our mice more than, trust me, they're well fed. They're eating something in my room. I'd like to know what the hell they're eating. Unless they're just in the wall. You know, it is what it is. You know, I know probably half of you that are watching are absolutely horrified that I would even admit that I'm sharing my house with 1,000 mice friends. But you know what? Have I lied to you guys yet? You know, there's reality TV, and then there's my channel. This is real reality. It also goes under the truth is stranger than fiction thing, but you know, you want your reality. Come to the Leather Rokk channel. Okay. Make sure it fits in here now. Okay. Now we got mushrooms here. I mean, the mushrooms are extremely got. Okay, now I'm going to have to put this back here so you can see what I'm doing better. I hope you can hear me good. If you can't, and I know I'm still just causing multiple questions. Only some of you will get the multiple one. People pull this down actually look like okay, so I'm going to take this out without burning myself. And I am going to move some of the stuff out of the way here. And I'm going to get out the rice. And this is totally cool. Normally you put next to the edge of this. These will heat up. That's why there's handles on there and stuff. I am going to take this here and usually when the rice is done, you're supposed to fluff it up. But because I was out in the wee hours looking at the meteor shower last night, and then when I got home, there was things to do, and I couldn't go to sleep right away. And next thing you know, I fell asleep. I guess it was probably just before 11 o'clock. It was after I uploaded the video that I uploaded today. And then the next thing you know, it was like 7 o'clock at night or something, or whatever it was. I don't know. I woke up and went back to sleep a couple of times. I just rested. I had to rest. Okay, so got this kind of broken up here. And then what I'm going to do, and now I'm going to have to bring this a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe I can, no, I don't want to balance it there. I don't want a problem. Okay, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Well, yeah, I'll just have to make this. This place was a neat room at one time when I had it for that. Okay, I'm going to take a couple of spoonfuls of this, and I'm going to put it around this mixture. Actually, I'm going to take 3 spoonfuls. Give you a better look at what the hell I'm doing. You see, I've got a pile there. 3 spoons of rice mixture. Let's see what I got. Here. Okay. So here, get out of the way. Now, I'm going to have to add some liquid to this. And that is where this comes in. I'm going to, without burning myself too much, especially the bottom of this, watch out. Oh, and it got some weight to it, so depending on how strong you are, you know, which hand's stronger and all that stuff. Now I'm going to, you know what, maybe I need to turn this light off. Or is that too dark now? Now, I'll show you what I'm doing. Now I'm going to try to mix this up some. The idea is for the liquid to soften up this rice some because it's really firm. You know what, maybe I can. Because you know, it's kind of hard to balance this with one hand. Okay, can you see this? I'm going to and very carefully incorporate the mixture without making crumbs for our critters. Because there's going to be more to this. And you know what? I think I can actually add a bit more than that because. And since I have more in that rice thing, feel free to adjust this, add some more of the rice mixture. What did I say? I was looking for. Oh yeah, I wanted to get some more of this now. The amount in this was approximately a cup and a half. But you know, you can feel free to play fast and loose with the proportions on this to suit your taste. Just like, you know, feel free to omit an ingredient if you don't like it, if you don't like mushrooms or not or whatever. It's like I'm always not putting cheese in recipes because I don't like cheese, for instance. So, you know, okay, I'm just going to dump the whole thing. I don't want to do this too much because, you know, if there's a tiniest little crack in these things will probably break. So I'm going to, oops, stick this in here. And I know you guys know don't ever put any kind of metal in the microwave. We all know that. Right? That in here. And I'm going to turn it on here. Now, some of these ingredients you're not even going to have to really heat up. Like for instance, when it gets down to the black beans, you're going to only have to really barely warm these. And you notice I have an extra bowl here. We're probably going to need this to transfer some of this to, because this is going to be a certain quantity. And you know what? Let me see. I'm going to hurry up and I'm going to get another plate. I'm going to be right back. Watch the timer. Now I got a big plate. All these plates, by the way, were Grouse Force. In the same place where the chicken lady used to drop off the goodies. So, okay, I'm going to just set this aside because I don't know that I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on top of the rice thing here. I'm probably going to have to add some more rice to this because, you know, since my mother and I are going to be eating and we want to have supper. You know, if the food's good, you're going to want supper, right? And plus, what if one of my friends shows up or something? Okay, I'm going to, I think I should protect my hand. Just pour it out of the way. Okay, where's the pot holder? Oh, here it is. Okay. Even though this should probably be okay, see that? What this looks like so far? Now I'm going to get ready to put the next ingredient. No, that's fine. Take a quick. Alright. Now, the next thing that we're going to put in there are these beans. And see if I can give you the view. It's real kind of a challenge mounting this so that you can see what the hell I'm doing. So I'm going to move Maybe this will work. Let's see what the heck I'm doing here. We're going to take the green beans, and I'm going to just pour them in here. I wonder if these might not be fava beans, because you can see that they're definitely wider than the green beans, like Blue Lake or the different varieties that I've grown. Green beans are very easy to grow if you have a green thumb, as I do. And beans, unlike certain other herbs, yes, you don't have to worry about light and dark cycles. So many things regarding the harvest, you don't have to cure them, you don't have to do anything really fancy. Carefully stir this up. You know what? I think I am going to throw a little bit more of the rice and grating all over it. Oh, that's good. It seems to me that if you're going to try to use a microwave to attempt this like stovetop cooking, it seems to be a series of cycling on and off. And that is what I'm learning about microwave. And there are certain things, by the way, in my opinion, you should never use microwave. That's true. Reheating of rolls, for instance. Oh, rolls and bread. Microwave oven, that's a big no-no. I'll tell you why. You try taking a wonderful roll that you otherwise just have this consistency that you bite it through and you love the texture. You use a microwave to reheat it, you turn out rubbery. That is not how most of us want our bread to look at. Now, I've gone ahead and I've used the whole thing because, people are going to eat it. People are hungry. That's the purpose of eating. Right? You're hungry. I'm hungry. So, you want to make sure that there's enough food for people. And, it's always a good idea sometimes to have a little bit extra because if you're like me, you never know when somebody's hungry is going to show up. Alright, I'm going to pretend you can see here. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put this back in. To do is if you ever think that you put too much liquid in your microwave, you keep on heating it and it boils and it will do a little bit of a reduction. Okay, so start with doing, you know what? The timer ran out. That means you gotta put some more on the timer. And I'm gonna just start with 2 minutes. Alright, 2. And you see? Look what we have here. Another eyeshadow brush. That's what it is. Okay, I'm going to put that over here. And now, of course, if I touch something, that means his hand's good. Keep that in mind. Okay, all right. Ooh. Hot. And I got some water. Good. And by the way, this isn't actually, it looks like bottled water. This is tap water in a bottle. I'm not really much of a water person, but you know what? This ain't none of us drinks enough water. I want to be healthy and all that stuff. Let's see if I can tie this here. That's golden. Probably might be wondering what this is. Well, this is the pepper. In here, we have a cooked, non-spicy pork patty. I'm going to end up throwing that in here. Now, a Gucky Muck, by its very nature, it has to have rice in it. And the whole idea of a Gucky Muck is it has this consistency, kind of looks like slop. Okay, kind of disrespect. And the reason why my father used that term he uses that to describe some of the dishes that I made the last years of his life. And I really think this is a great way to honor him because why not? First of all, this is something, as far as I'm concerned, is my father's invention. You're not going to probably see this in any cookbooks until now. Now that this video exists, now maybe it'll take off. Now it's a thing, in conjunction with my father. Okay. So, but it's all about the texture. Crumbling. It's so much easier to use your hands. And since I cut my nails back, I actually have fairly long nails for a bit since, Oh, and this thing here, this is a little bit of the fat from the pork chop. Ooh, you know how good pork chop fat is. Matter of fact, I'm going to use this knife here. And notice this is a hand stirred, so I'm not considering food with this hand. And I will wash my hand. I'm very careful. This is not dry. Really the skills in my, you know what? I better go to the plate. Let's have it on the plate. And you probably can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just slicing this fat. And it's about a 2-inch square piece of cooked pork fat. Something about pork chop fat, even though it's fat, you can go, oh, you don't need fat because it has so much flavor. And also, fat helps our body to assimilate more nutrients. Like for instance, you know if you use the fat-free salad dressing, even if it's a salad dressing that has all kinds of herbs in it and all kinds of vegetable pieces and stuff, if it's fat-free, you're not going to get as great and efficient delivery of the vitamins and minerals if it has fat in it. You are going to get, because there are some vitamins and minerals that are fat soluble. And if you're going to take the trouble to eat these healthy things, you want the vitamins, you want the nutrition to get to you, right? So, okay, I got this. And this pork that I just tore up, you probably can't see what the heck I'm doing. I'm trying to show you probably. I'm taking this. Oh, the other thing is here is a lime. I've actually been using that in my tea. There's also some fried pork flesh. I love pork flesh. Oh my goodness, it's just, I love the texture of it. I love the flavor. It's really good to add to food. Of course, because I'm cooking with pork, I imagine there's some people they're not going to want to make this dish. It's probably better off to eat it. I've got that here. I've got this. I'm going to open up what we're dealing with right now. Oh, we're dealing with a hot pan. I'm going to go wash my hands. So let me go and do this real quick. Oh, there you are. Oh. And I know there's going to be somebody that can say that why they're not able to stop. You know, you're going to be happy with it. Even though you'd be a lot happy with it. Here, I'm going to, oh, now I'm going to scoot off a little bit. Okay. This. Let's see what we're doing. Okay. Now, this is where you're thinking, oh, I wish I had a bigger pan. And I do wish I had a bigger pan. So, here's what I'm gonna set this up here, and I'm going to actually go ahead and use this. I'm pretty sure this is microwave safe, even though I really don't like putting plastic in my food. You know what? I'm going to grab this plate because this is bone china, and this I know is safe. I'm going to start, I don't want you to see my microwave. Oh, and this is going to be moving because the floors in this apartment are warped. So this is probably going to go all over the place, and I can't control that. So I don't want to be beheaded either, even though I am. You know, I'm an American, so. Oh, you know what? It would be better for me to do this. I'm going to carefully, without spilling, fold this over into, I'm going to put spoonfuls of this on this plate. I'm going to probably share this. This is why people say you should tie up your hair. But I like to show my hair to my friends. I would rather look good than be messy. I'm going to try to use some of the rice in here for what I'm about to do next. And try real hard not to dump this whole thing on the floor. I'm going to be crying a bale of tears. I'm going to be doing full-on revelation, gnashing of teeth, and all that. Some of you who know the Bible know what I'm talking about. I'm not particularly too well schooled in that. I know what things are about. I used to read part of Revelation and had a little girl. But my mom used to read the book a lot. I literally was frightened. Okay, see, I took some of that stuff out of here because I had to make room in here. After this for a bit, because now I'm going to open up the black beans. Can I open it here? Now this particular brand, the black beans actually, green can be optional. Some people always like the mixed beans. It depends, because sometimes it's actually a syrupy liquid that has sugar in it, which I don't think most people want. But this is pretty dry. What I'm going to do now is I'm not going to use that spoon. I'm going to use my pre-pack spoon that I use to stir my coffee and tea with. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to spoon through the center these black beans. The idea is to incorporate them into rice. Now you notice I haven't tasted it. They say, one of the things I learned from my mother when she used to do all the Weight Watchers is, the Weight Watchers, they don't taste the food. They say that when you don't taste the food when you're cooking, it keeps you from putting on weight. I don't know how true that is. The thing is, a lot of times, when I'm cooking for my mother, if I cook something for her, something I don't like something else, I'm certainly going to taste that because I do something I don't like. But obviously there are times when you want to taste something. But if you look at someone who has to watch their sugar intake, sometimes I try to go as little salt as possible, and then to add salt to the I like some flavor, so I like salt. Everybody has different health requirements, so when you're cooking for more than one person, you obviously have to think about everybody, unless you're making individual people food. All the temperature possible. You want enough for sex. That's the whole thing. This is about 50 ounce pan. And you can see I'm using everything. Some brands, there's a whole lot of liquid, but this is very densely packed. And that's what I like. I hate it when chefs go, they're dumping things off and they're adding ingredients and they do something in the beginning. I mean, I know they're doing mistakes, like I hate that. And when they break your egg and they leave half the white in the shell, how do you know? Use up your ingredients, but otherwise you're missing, you're leaving out half the stuff. So let's just start with that. Another thing I do is use a metal spoon and you scrape it with your arm. And it gets you plastic, get you silicone, get you rubber. Don't scratch metal on mine. I figure if it's annoying me, it's probably annoying other people too. See what I'm doing? Closer. In here. Mixing this up without making a mess. See, my father called this Gucky Muck because it just looks like a bunch of rice, sloppy mixture full of a bunch of yummy, tasty, delicious stuff. Here, I do think I'm too funny. But you know, one of the reasons I cook Irish. Luckily, I was raised vegetables. There's not a whole lot that I don't like. Luckily, I never really been forced to have to cook a bunch of things that I didn't like. I'm going to put this back in the microwave flat first. I'm going to use a picture. However, I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to have to add some more time, and I'm going to do 2 minutes here. Even though now with humans you got to watch it taking that. But hey, it's not going to affect us because we can't do it. Now, I used to just say that it's appropriate when they say you have to I really don't think you have to worry about that. It's not a bunch of reasons. No, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let it run out the clock because it's going to be time that we're going to have to start mixing things up and putting things all together. It's 50, 49, 48, 47, and so on. Now, I'm thinking if I do need to add some salt, there's this thing that's called garlic pepper And this has salt, garlic, black pepper, and sugar. Now, I don't understand why you would add sugar to something like this. It makes no damn sense at all. But, now, another option you can use is a soy sauce. And this particular one is Wan Jia Shan brand, and it's less sodium. I have another soy sauce that actually is a dark soy sauce, and that's a bit saltier. They're both wonderful. And, you know, they add that umami that we love and the saltiness that we need. Oh, boy, this is hot. And as you can see, everything has cats on it because that's how we roll. This is what this looks like right now. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting things all together now. You can see I've got this plate here. The idea is to kind of mix things because you've got things, it's just I didn't have a big enough pan to cook everything together. So that's one of the challenges when you're not able to use your normal kitchen and stuff. And one of the reasons why I also did this video is to show people that there's more than one way to cook a meal, that if you have to use different facilities, say that you were a refugee, or say that you had to evacuate temporarily because there was a storm or something, and you found yourself in a totally different situation, and you only had certain appliances, you could still put together a meal that can cook more than one person, and cook for more than one person. We're not cannibals here, we're not cooking people. Okay. But, you know, there's always more than one way to accomplish something, and you've got to be resourceful, and you've got to be creative, and have fun with it, because food, it should taste good, it should be nutritious, and it should be fun. Am I right? So, I'm going to see where the hell I'm going to do this. I really wish I had a table. I'm going to set this down here, and of course you don't see what the hell I'm doing. That's my mother's walker, you know it's not mine. I'm going to set this down here. What I'm going to do, can you see this? See this? I'm going to start throwing a bunch of things together here. Matter of fact, because I'm going to have, I want to serve my mom and everything. What I'm going to do, well, first of all, okay, before I do anything else, I want to start to put some of this stuff together. Make sure. Ooh, you know what? I just put something in that I never even warmed up. So I'm going to have to, of course, throw it back in the microwave so that can heat up. Because, you know, one of the things that's really unpleasant is to, burning yourself is unpleasant too. It's really unpleasant when you take a bite of something and all the ingredients are not at the same temperature. You want things to be at the same temperature. So I'm going to put this back in the microwave, because some of what was colder was the fried pork butt. I want all the meat to be warm. Okay, I'm going to start off with only 2 minutes now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, since this already has been cooked, I'm going to go and I'm going to find that bowl that I just saw. Here we go. This bowl. And I am going to put some of the contents of this plate in this bowl. And you could see this is rice, fava beans, mushrooms. Okay, and I'm going to take this. Put it. Let's see what I'm doing. Put this. You want to have a base of rice here, kind of. And now I'm going to take this out of here soon. Oh, by the way, these are my jammies. You see they're kind of baggy and stuff. Fuzzy and uncomfortable. And I don't wear them outside. I have to actually, they're so large that I actually have them pinned up there like they're really huge. I didn't realize how big they were when I got them, but I love the pattern and stuff. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to let the clock run out. It's almost down to 2 minutes. As you can see, or maybe not. When that goes down and it's off, then I'm going to mix that together and then I'm going to test it for the seasoning. Let's see. Wow. Let's take it out. I wish you could smell the... I'm going to stop burning my hand. I'm going to start spooning this. Start spooning this into this bowl. Into this bowl. And then I'll be able, and you want to make sure that you have enough meat in this, obviously. Stir this. Got green beans, fava beans, black beans, pork hot sausage, plain pork, rosemary. Oh, this is... Okay, I'm going to set this back. Okay. And this, my ladies and gentlemen, whoops, I just wore it. When my father used to always say, you get her wear it. And I'm sure my mom told you the story. I'm not going to do it again. She wants to mention it, you know. My mom has utensils in her room. So, how's about, oh, you know what? Where the heck is it? Okay. I am going to test the seasoning. You know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit of the pepper seasoning, because it does need some salt. And you know what? That hot pepper sausage, when I made it the other day, there was definitely, I detected more heat. This is not nearly as hot. Okay, I guess we're going to do. I'm going to carry this in to see my mom. Hey, Mom, mute your TV, please. Mom, mute the TV. Thank you. Mom, you got tea? Thank you. I present to you Gucky Muck.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm going to get you. My arm is hungry. And I guess I'll give you a spoon, maybe.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I hope you enjoy that. You know all the stuff I have in there. The only thing I didn't put in there, I never got around to putting that cabbage because it wouldn't have made sense. But anyway, enjoy. That is Gucky Muck. A nod to my father's Air Force days. He must have been the best cook the Air Force ever had, according to all the guys that served in Korea. So, thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for enjoying some of my food, at least enjoying fries. If you were here, I would feed you because it would be rude for me not to. So, I will come to you again tomorrow with something else groovy from my channel. Enjoy, don't be hungry, don't take any wooden nickels, and see you tomorrow. Bye.